Hey everybody, we're doing the fuel system. We got the tank out, we got the pump out, I got all the stuff disassembled, the little spring off of there. We took the basket apart. I'm gonna go ahead and retain the factory wiring and try to keep it as plug and play as I can. We got the fuel basket taken apart, and I have to go ahead and cut this piece off. This little guy, I'm cutting this off, and then we're going to be putting a fitting in there. I have a bulkhead fitting right here. This will be going in and will go to my fuel pump, and then the top of it will go to my feed up to the front for the actual fuel rail. So that's what we're doing. I gotta go ahead and get this cut, get it cleaned up, and get it all put together. We have our Deechworks. I don't know why I thought it was a 320. This is a 420. Seems like the entire fuel system is bigger than I thought it was. I thought the fuel injectors were 750 and they're 800s. I thought the fuel pump was a 320 and it's a 420. So we're set up, safe to say. So here's what we have. We have the fuel pump. This is a Deechworks 420 liter per hour pump that's running at 40 psi. And the clamp, sticker, a little sock for the bottom of it. It's gonna be cool. So if you guys didn't know, Deechworks hooked me up on this pump. They didn't charge me a dime for it, they just sent it to me. So if you guys have not checked these guys out, go check them out. Deechworks, deechworks.com. I'll put it on the screen just like I did before. I have some corrugated hose as well. We're going to probably try to make that work, just because the way we're modifying everything for this new return system, because the factory fuel system on the Jeep was not a return style system. We already modified the top of the basket. So we have our return right here is that brass fitting, and then underneath here there's a bulkhead fitting that comes through. I had to cut this and this off. Anyway, if you guys ever seen inside a Jeep fuel tank, you know what I'm talking about. But we got this guy. This will be going from the pump up to this 6AN bulkhead fitting, and that will run to this 90 and then out to the fuel hose. That'll run all the way up to the fuel rail directly, and then from the rail it'll come back to the regulator, to my flex fuel sensor, and then back to the tank through this brass fitting. So we're basically redesigning the fuel system entirely. All the hard line, all the rubber, everything that was under the Jeep from the factory is gone now. I'm gonna try to get this knocked out and get the tank back in. Fuel system, we're doing it. I got the entire fuel system done. We got the regulator all mounted up. The fuel line runs all the way from the tank, from the basket, all the way up to the rail directly. And then we return out of the front of the rail. We ran this all the way back here from the return, and this goes into the back of the regulator. And then the return line runs out the bottom and all the way back to the tank. So everything's done. It's 3:45 in the morning. So we have definitely been putting some hours in a day on this. Okay, it's 8:30 in the morning. I slept a little bit, probably maybe 3 hours. We're gonna try to knock out this downpipe real quick. downpipe completely welded out. Yes, it looks like I MIG welded it. I actually TIG welded it. My filler rod's a little too big and I'm not super efficient at TIG to begin with, but I don't think it's gonna fall apart. So we still have to drill a hole in this and put an O2 bung in it. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on and, you know, like, look at it, okay? I just wanna look at it. Dude, that thing's gangster. Look at that.
That is like huge pimping.
Damn.
My goodness.
What, right there?
Wow.
That's wild.
That's cool. I dig it.
That is wild.
Look at that.
Where's it? Here it is. I don't like Pepsi, but when I'm thirsty and I ain't got no caffeine, I'll settle for Pepsi. 23 flavors a way to go, though. Dr. Pepper gang. Sponsor me, Dr. Pepper.
Pepsi 2024.
I don't need a Dr. Pepper sponsorship. I'd be diabetic in a year. After fighting with the MS3 Pro to control my alternator, I couldn't get it. I said, forget it. We're going to go ahead and go with an external regulator. So this is what we did. This is off like an 80s Dodge pickup. It's just a generic Daimler, Chrysler, Dodge external voltage regulator they used back in the day. And here's a little connector for it. This wire's straight there. And then I'll supply, this is grounded through the body of the actual regulator, which I've got it grounded here now. And then we're sending our 12 volt power straight down to the alternator, and then we're regulating it through this. So I hated having to do it that way. I feel like I kind of lost the battle because I thought I could figure out the alternator control on the MS3 Pro, but I had it on the right setting, the high speed field feedback control, all that good stuff. I changed the voltage, I changed the frequency, I did everything I knew to do. I inverted the signal, I don't know, I did everything. So unless MS3 Pro is not doing something correctly, or for some reason this regulator is just better, I don't know, I'm not sure. But we went to this, it works, even revving like, you know, 4,000 RPMs, it still sees like 14.9 to 15.2, which is okay. It's a little higher than I would like, but it's not 17, 18 volts, so we're fine. But we got the voltage regulator figured out, and as soon as we did, I came to the conclusion that we need a steering box. So it's just a snowball of crap. It's a crap ball is what it is. We had to go buy a steering box, which I've got it in the back of the Corolla. We're about to throw it on real quick. Once that's done, we can go ahead and knock out charge piping, and she's pretty well drivable. There's not much left to do. I've got to change the return hose on the power steering pump. That's easy. Put new fluid in it, and it should be drivable. We should be good to go. So let's get some stuff done. everyone. We have now completed all the charge piping. We got that done. I got a new blanket for my wastegate, blanket for the hot side, for the turbine housing. The downpipe is wrapped. I still have to build the wastegate dump, so I'm going to try to get that knocked out today. I have to wire in my flex fuel sensor, which that shouldn't be too bad. I had to order some barb fittings to go ahead and put the flex fuel sensor in their turn, because I didn't want to restrict the feed. We're not making a ton of power, but it's easier just to put it in the return. Also, I need to install my fuel filter, so we're going to get that done today, and then it's time for test drive. I got to go in. I'm going to set boost cut. I'm going to make sure that everything is safe with like the timing and the fuel, and we're going to ease it down the road, see how she shifts gears, make sure everything's working, and then we'll get it out on the highway. We probably won't get into any boost to speak of today, maybe a pound or two. I just want to see if I can get the fuel and the timing how I want it, make sure it's shifting gears, it's idling, it's not overheating, stuff like that. So we're going to check all the fluids. We have to put all new iridium plugs in it today, gap those down to probably 24, 26, just to where we're not going to blow the spark out. And we're pretty well good. I tidied up the wiring last night. It's a lot better than it was. Cleaned up the boost reference wires coming off the intake to the boost controller, the wastegate. Everything's good. We got all the charge piping hooked up, all the clamps are tight. I still need to figure out a catch can situation. For now, we'll be okay, but catch can and then overflow for the radiator. So we're getting there. We're really close. I mean, we should be test driving it today. I've been wanting to test drive it for like a month, but there's always something new wrong. Like I had to put a steering box on it the other day because it was leaking out of the steering shaft seal. So it's always something, but we are getting really close. I mean, it should be on the road. I could start it up and drive it right now, but I want to go ahead and get the flex fuel sensor on it. We need to run the rest of the 87 octane that's in the tank out of here, and then start putting the E85 in there and really, you know, start throwing a little more timing and then maybe some boost at it after that. I don't have a fuel gauge. That's one more thing I have to figure out. I was going to run a fuel gauge for the factory, or the aftermarket ECU, the MS3 Pro, but I ran out of inputs because I wanted to run anti-lag, I wanted to run launch control. We're using the 3-wire GM oil pressure sensor, so that was an input that got ate up. Yeah, there's a bunch of inputs being used on this, and it isn't a really high-end computer necessarily. It does what I need it to do, but I will have speed. That was another thing. I will have vehicle speed sensor signal, but I don't have fuel level. So I bought a little rinky-dinky aftermarket gauge off Amazon that's got a little potentiometer. I don't know. We might use that. We might throw it in there. I'm not too sure yet. We might just do some round gauge. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But all the wiring's all tucked up. I think everything will be fine from the heat. I hope. If we have any problems, then I'll be fixing some wiring that got melted. But hopefully that's not a problem. So we'll be back. I've got stuffs to do. Oh, it's time, y'all. I got everything pretty well buttoned up. I still have to fabricate the wastegate dump, but this will work for now. It'll be shooting the fireballs this way, which it probably won't be shooting fireballs right yet because we're going to be taking it easy. I goofed. So when we were installing the voltage regulator, we tested it before I actually mounted it right here where there's a good ground. And I don't know if I told y'all. Anyway, the MS3 wouldn't control the alternator like I wanted it to. I tried everything, I couldn't figure it out. So I went with an external voltage regulator off of like an 80s Dodge pickup, basically. I messed up. That's a Japanese Zero. So these guys behind us are flying. They usually don't fly during the week, only on the weekends, but they're having fun. So we got the external voltage regulator mounted up. I started the Jeep earlier today, like later this morning, and it wasn't charging. And I thought, well, that's weird. So I took it back. I tested it and it tested bad, which I thought was strange. Took it back, warrantied it out, put the new one on, immediately started charging. Well, then it clicked. When I was installing the other one, I had the dead end wires kind of laying over here when I was cleaning all this up. and one of them touched the battery and arced, and it must have instantly fried the regulator. But we have a new one now. It is working. I actually let it run, get up to temp. I actually pulled my boat out in the road and mowed my yard earlier, and so far so good. It is kind of weird on the fuel. We got to get that dialed in, but I need to get the catch can because it does have a good bit of blow by, which is perfect for boost, but I don't want oil vapor all over my nice clean engine bay. So we'll figure that out. We got to get a catch can on here. We'll do that in the next day or so. But we're going to take this thing on a test drive. That's what we're about to do. So we're going to fire this thing up. We don't have any AC, so it's
Windows
cooling off.
down.
Windows down. But we're going to take this thing on a test drive and get some E85 in it. I wired up my ethanol sensor, so we're running 16% ethanol, which I've been putting E15 in it, so that's pretty accurate. We're gonna go get some gas, see if we can get any funny looks, because this isn't something you see every day.
Right.
It should clear up once it gets warm. It's gonna. Oh, our steering's working.
Good.
Kinda.
Yeah.
A little touchy.
It's definitely not as stiff as it was.
No.
Let's see.
There's second gear.
My door's not closed.
Close it.
Don't know how that happened or didn't happen.
I'm gonna get my steering wheel right where I need it,
Yeah.
so I can see everything. Speedometer's wrong, but it is working,
Yeah.
which is a really good sign. We're pegged rich.
Yeah.
Oh, the rear locked up.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
we're doing at least 45. Cool. I don't know why my wideband is pegged. Yeah, we're stupid rich. Yeah, it's okay here.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. I don't know what's wrong.
I'm curious if the fuel tank hole is leaking or if it's fixed.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll find
know
out.
Feels a little weird putting the 85 in the Jeep, but here we are.
Happening.
The turbo is like the perfect size.
Any guesses on how much it's going to take to fill it up?
It's a 20-gallon tank, and when I dropped it, it felt like it had maybe an 8.
Yeah.
And I suck at math, so I'm gonna say it probably holds. I'll say it holds about 15 gallons.
About halfway there. Close.
Dang. ethanol already.
Damn.
That pump's moving some fuel.
Oh yeah. There's such a glare on it though. I wish I could see it.
Yeah.
There we go. It's better.
Yeah, I gotta figure out the speedometer. Looks good. It's working though. Yeah, that's E85. She spools up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Dang. No idea how fast we're going. At least 45 because the converter's locked.
I'd say we're going 42 to 45. That's what it feels like. There's a cop in the car wash back there.
Yeah, I saw it. Dang. What a unit. I'm so happy.
Good.
It's alive. Wow. This thing sounds so wicked. Nice. Got plenty of oil pressure. It's not running hot.
Yeah, she's doing good.
Sorry. Didn't expect that to happen.
Whoopsie dude.
Sorry, everyone.
It's all good.
It's out here being
It's
a
fine.
menace to society. Dang. That was loud. Okay, how's the lighting?
It's great.
How's my lighting? How's
you
my
are
face?
just
How's my face?
absolute perfection.
Guys, first test drive went really, really well. We have a weird squeaking noise, which that's a pulley or a bearing, something in the serpentine drive system. So I'll figure that out, but it ran like a top. We got it up on 1 or 2 pounds of boost. It pulls so good. I'm so happy with it. I've got to adjust timing and fuel, so we're gonna leave it turned way down. We're gonna leave it real conservative, but I'm confident I can put it on the interstate. I can do 65, 70. Another thing, the speedo does work, but it's off by about 25 miles an hour. So I'll have to play with the tooth count on that because it is reading off the factory vehicle speed sensor on the drive shaft. So I'll play with that and get that figured out. For now, I can just use my phone, not a big deal. But everything's working. We got good oil pressure. The coolant runs, it's cool, pretty cool. It's probably in the low 80s right now. And we're running 180 degree coolant temp, 185. So it's not getting hot. The fan's kicking on and off, perfect. Everything's working. I'll just keep putting miles on it and see, you know, what goes wrong or what doesn't. We'll just have to drive it and fill it out, you know. But anyway, if you guys have not subscribed, we just today rolled over 550 subscribers, and that's huge. Like, we're well over halfway to 1,000, and then we can start monetizing and then making money. So then we can start doing cooler stuff like name brand turbos and all that good stuff. But you guys keep doing what you're doing. I really appreciate it, and hope you guys enjoy the turbo Jeep stuff. Yeah, I'm beyond excited. So that's all for this one. Pretty soon we're gonna probably do a shirt giveaway. Nothing big, but you know, we're just getting started. So you guys, if anyone's interested in a shirt, let's go ahead and do some comments. I'll just pick a random and we'll send you guys a shirt. So if you're local, I'll just bring it to your house, but depends. All right, so Jeep runs and drives, and it's got a full tank of E85. But anyway, we'll be back. That's funny because it's true.